All right, so yeah, that's United situation is at least they got two guys. They got two players. Now, we can't say the same for Chelsea because we ended up signing nobody. Chelsea was banned from signing players in the summer, which was acceptable. I mean, which was the reason why we couldn't sign anybody. But we were lucky enough to sign Pulisic in the prior window, and we were able to sign Kovacic because he was already on loan. So we were able to convert him. So technically, we were able to sign players, but we couldn't sign players for Frank. So Frank Lampard's transfer window was kind of like January is like his first real transfer window. We appealed the ban. We won the ban. So all fans were expecting to sign some players. We had an episode a couple of weeks ago with Derek, and Derek and I agreed that we needed a left back. And I think Derek wanted a left-footed winger or like something of that sort. And I wanted a center back or something of that sort. If anybody would have worked, all those three options, a left back, a center back, or a left winger or right winger, another winger would be okay for me. We ended up getting nobody. There was rumors about Dries Mertens that seemed like it would happen because in January it's hard to sign players. I wasn't going to be disappointed if Koulibaly is not coming because it's January. It's hard to make deals in January. So you kind of get the players that are almost out of contract or players that kind of want to leave or, but Chelsea not getting anybody is a worry for me because we are desperate to get something in this squad. Derek, how big of a miss was it? Because all our rivals signed players. Tottenham signed Bergwijn, who scored today, right? They signed another midfielder from Benfica. I forgot his name. So they signed two players. Arsenal signed players. They got a center back. I don't know how good they are, but they got a center back and a right back. At least it's bodies. United, we just talked about it. They have Bruno Fernandes, and then they just added another. They added another striker that they were lacking. Wolves signed players, right? All these teams that were competing for that top four position, that fourth position, not even top four, that fourth position, because all signed players. How big of a worry is it for you? Like, how disappointed are you in the fact that we couldn't sign anybody? Because I'm not sure if this is a good sign. I was expecting us to sign somebody at least, and especially knowing Lampard's knowledge of players and players' ability and stuff. I was expecting somebody to come spark the team a bit. What do you think?
I mean, I am as disappointed as any Chelsea fan. I have actually spent some time thinking about this to really properly articulate what I really feel and what I think the future of Chelsea is going to look like with this, transfer window that we had. Of course, everybody expected Chelsea to at least be able to do some type of business in January, but we never did. Like you said, we signed nobody. But when I sit back and I actually kind of think about this a little bit more, maybe I don't feel as disappointed as I was on the very first day, when the transfer window ended and I was like, yo, actually we didn't get anybody at all. Mm-hmm. I thought about it this way. I believe that if you're looking at teams like Manchester United, looking at Spurs, all the people who did business in the January window, I believe they actually knew they had to do something before January. Because, for example, Kane got injured sometime, what, was it November? Something like that.
No. Kane got injured. Let me see. It wasn't that far away, but it was around December, I think.
Oh, actually, December, yeah. It was in December.
December, or probably early December, something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Coming in, I'm sure on his whatever, coaching, he has a list of players that he's interested in who can play the way he wants. I'm sure he came in with some ideas of what they wanted to do. Manchester United, same. Martial was gone. They had already been thinking about the fact that Lingard was playing crap, so they had to do something. So I feel
Kane got injured January 1st. Go ahead.
Oh, January 1st.
Yeah.
Okay. So Manchester United, I know they've been thinking about Lingard, not doing as great. They knew they needed something. So I'm sure these teams had already started to think about it and maybe started to, court these individual players a little bit before the actual transfer window happened. I'm not saying this as an excuse for Chelsea, but I feel Chelsea always thought that we could see the season through with no additions. At least that is how Lampard came into the season with, yeah. Somewhere, say November, December, we realized that, not quite. We probably would need somebody to see the season through. But now when I think about it this way, what is really at stake for Chelsea Football Club right now? It's two things. Well, probably three things. One, if we want to play in Champions League, we have to be able to get into the top four. So that is a big priority this year. Number two, we know for sure that unless heaven comes down, we probably can't do much with the Champions League. There are people, other teams who are more prepared, better players, etc. It was going to take something else for Chelsea to be able to shift anything in the Champions League.
We're lucky to even make it to the knockout, if we're being honest.
Exactly. Then the last thing I'm going to talk about is the FA Cup, which is probably the last thing that is left of what we can be able to do. So if you're looking at a team that is not really seeing a future beyond maybe round 16 in the Champions League, a team that is hoping to stay in the top four, and a team that would wish that for some reason we get some easy teams or okay teams to play in the FA Cup and win the FA Cup, then I feel that do we really need any big signings to be able to accomplish this? And if we do not, is the plan to save all our money, not make any rush signings, and actually court the players we really, really want and are going to be instrumental for the future and target them over the summer? If I think about it that way, then I'm like, maybe I'm not that angry with this happening.
Yeah.
But again, I also don't know if what I'm thinking is what a Chelsea Football Club is thinking right now.
The one thing that I will say is I think I didn't agree with the first part because we cannot think that this is done and dusted like we have, because we've seen this team hold on to the fourth position, not because we have been excellent, it's because other teams
other teams are
now. If any of these
Jeff, quick comment. I didn't mean to say that it's done and dusted, but what I'm saying is, do we have what it takes to hold on to the fourth place?
And what I'm saying is we can't think like that.
What I'm thinking is, do we have to go spend money to be able to make this happen?
And
is what the question is.
Okay, and what I'm saying is, I think the reason why I think we should, because at the state that we're in, we're holding on to fourth position, not because we have been excellent. It's because the other team have also been just as bad as we have been. That's the reason we're holding on top four. So that kind of tells you that, yes, we need help, right? Now, if we're going to sign a player, we need to have a player that's going to have an impact where we can finish top four, because that fourth position is a huge financial benefit for us. Like making Champions League, it's like better than finishing. You make more money going to the Champions League than winning the FA Cup and Europa League, like in Carling Cup. You can win all three trophies and you still make more money just qualifying for the Champions League. So financially, that's our number one priority. We need to finish top four to get the money to be able to do what you're saying, signing. But I wasn't expecting a big blockbuster signing, because I was saying in January you can't sign Koulibaly in January. It's not possible. You can't sign Chilwell or whoever we're going for in January, because it just, they won't let their player go in the middle of the season like that. In the summer, it's different. So
the final. Okay, go ahead. I was going to make a final point with but you finish and then I'll make.
So the one thing that Chelsea could have done is kind of like what United did with Gallo. You sign a player that is available, that can fill a gap or can contribute somehow to the team. He doesn't have to be the best player on the team, but can he be another option? That's why the Mertens deal, I was so eager for the Mertens deal to go through because he's a player that he's a different type of striker. You know, like Tammy Abraham is a goal scorer. He's a fox in the box. He just wants to score goals. So he doesn't do the link-up play as well. But Mertens, if you put him up front, he can do the link-up play. You can put him on the wing. He can come inside. He can do a lot of different things that can help us. So that was the reason why I thought if we can get one player in, if I wanted a center back personally, but if we can get one player in, like a Mertens, that would make a huge difference with the ability that he has. And it could have been a 6-month loan. It could have been a year and a half contract or whatever. But it's a good player to have to solidify us for that fourth position. Because I'm not sure if Wolves look like they're in good form, and Tottenham just signed a couple of players that they might be getting their form. So I'm not sure if
Well, the last point I was going to make with that is Chelsea also has a transfer policy where we don't give players above 30 longer than a year's contract.
Yeah.
We sign from year to year. Mm-hmm. And if you look at some of the players that we're targeting, which was Cavani and then also with Mertens, they're all above 30. Yeah. So maybe that complexity also added to, you know, some of the policies we have and how we really want to take a decision on a player like that. So maybe that was also part of why it did not happen. But again,
that could also be the reason why we couldn't sign Mertens, because was Mertens looking for a longer contract and we decided we
Exactly.
a year.
Exactly.
That also could be the reason why we couldn't sign him.
Yep.
Because I'm not sure if Mertens wants to come in and sign a year contract or 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted a 2-year contract. Maybe he's 32, but he doesn't look or play 32.
Yeah, he doesn't. Because if you're Mertens, right, and you're looking in, and you're looking at players like Giroud, players like Willian, players like Pedro, you know, having to wait till the end of the season to sign a year.
Yeah.
How would you feel coming into a team like that?
Yeah. I mean, you know, I don't
tell me much.
I don't know if that is, I mean, he's comparing those three because we've seen Pedro and them have like, I mean, their abilities have been going down exponentially. But with Mertens, I think what kind of contract was he offered? That's the question. If he was offered a year contract or 2-year contract, or was he offered a loan deal or something, and he didn't want to have a short-term contract, he wanted a long-term contract, that could be also the reason why it didn't. The thing that Ibn just came in, so let me get Ibn's thoughts on the Chelsea situation. Then I'll ask the United guys. Ibn, we're talking about Chelsea's lack of signings. That we ended up not signing anybody. Are you disappointed? Are you okay with it? Hoping that because I mean I saw Loftus-Cheek, which I'm a big fan of. He's in training. He's going to be like a new signing. Maybe he can help us with our attack or maybe our defensive problem. How disappointed were you with us not signing anybody, or are you okay with you think we're good enough that we can hold on to the fourth position?
All right, so start over. What's up, guys? Been a minute. I haven't been here for a while, but anyway. And to answer your question, Jeff, it's kind of like yes and no for me. I'm not really disappointed at the same time, so I'm kind of disappointed because, one, we started off the season with a transfer ban, right? Knowing that we cannot sign any players. So that expectation was always there that, hey, we're not going to sign any players till next season. So once the ban got lifted and looking at how Chelsea's been playing this entire season, we know that we do like in some areas. And we definitely need the strikers to support Tammy Abraham. So I was thinking definitely this window we're going to get the opportunity to sign players. But then in reality, though, like if you're going to sign a player in January, right, who are you going to really sign? Mm-hmm. And the player that you're going to really sign, is it going to be like a backup? You do have your backup already, which is what you call Giroud and Batshuayi. So that part, I wasn't really disappointed. So overall, to answer the question, iffy about it because I felt like we should have at least get maybe a midfielder somewhere or a striker so that we can at least like
winger.
What was that?
A winger. somebody.
Correct. Something, because I feel like when we're attacking something, we're not like creative and much more clinical. So I feel like we should have gotten someone in the market. Who was it? I don't know. And I don't know who's available right. I mean, I know Cavani issue came up.
Yeah.
But Cavani wasn't ideal because the guy has verbally said that, hey, he's going to go to Atletico. So I don't even know why Chelsea was even chasing him.
I think the Mertens deal was the one that was like possible. But like we were saying, we don't know what kind of contract was he offered.
Exactly. And it wouldn't even make any sense to have given him the same contract, which Giroud can technically have the same contract. Like, think about it. Like this age or whatever your age.
Mertens is better than Giroud, though.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say he's a way better player.
Yeah, of course. Of course, he's way better than him. But then remember, Chelsea's a team that at the age of 30 and up, we don't really care about you that more anyway. So it doesn't really matter at that point. You know what I'm saying?
We take Ronaldo.
Chelsea wouldn't sign him. But Chelsea wouldn't sign him.
I'm just playing.
Hey, I'm a big Ronaldo fan, but Chelsea's not going to sign him. Like, come on, he's like 30 and plus. But yeah, overall, I think Chelsea, I'm not really disappointed because, again, we went into this season without signing players, and we even keep this in mind. Even if the transfer ban wasn't uplifted, we would have seen the same position. So I'm not really worried.
I guess that's the whole point of the appeal.
Correct.
I mean, the thing that kind of pissed me off is we went through all this appeal. We won the appeal.
Not to sign any player. That's the point.
I know, and I was excited. I thought, oh, this is it, and So I don't know. That's probably the only thing that I wasn't happy about is the whole appeal process was to be able to get players in January so we can push for this fourth position, but we didn't get it.
Can I chime in real quickly?
Yeah, sorry.
I also feel like with the whole top four thing, we're not really far off. Like, think about it. Although we might be struggling right now, I still think we're going to end up finishing fourth, regardless of what happens with signing, without signing. We're still going to finish fourth.
Okay, Yaga. What was Chelsea? I don't even know how to ask this question. Why weren't we able to get a player that maybe would have made a difference? Is it a worry for you, or is this something that's like you don't think?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it's not a worry for me. I'm not a Chelsea fan. I don't really care about it. But then.
No, I'm saying like if you're a Chelsea fan, obviously not. If you're a Chelsea fan, would it be a worry?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be because, again, you guys, I didn't even know about this Chelsea policy about, signing 30 players above 30 and up. And I didn't know about that. So knowing that now, of course, which player were you guys going to sign? Because you need a top quality player to come into the team. I understand what you were saying by you getting a player to rely on just in case anything happens. But then who's that player in general? Who's that player? So technically, it wasn't like there were any great players, available for you guys to sign. I don't know how true the Mertens deal, was close. I don't know how close that was. Yeah. But then that would have been a great signing.
Yeah.
But then, again, probably there were complications. That's why you guys didn't get him. But aside him, which player was available for you guys?
Yeah,
And because, I understand you saying that all the other teams, Spurs, United, Wolves, all made signings because we needed those players. We needed those signings. But do Chelsea really need to sign, a player at this point? Yeah, but then a top quality player, would you get him in January? I don't think so. I really don't think.
I guess you can say that. We're not desperate, but it would be nice to have.
Yeah, but then nice to have just to really waste the players' time.
No, I think if Mertens comes in, I think he's...
Aside Mertens.
Yeah, he's the one that I think... It's Cavani and Mertens that I heard was...
Yeah, because I think Cavani already agreed personal terms with Atletico already. So that was, that was out. But then Mertens, again...
Mertens, he's going straight in the lineup.
Yeah, he's going straight in the lineup. But then you guys don't sign players. I didn't know about that. You guys don't sign players.
Yeah, but Jeff, the other thing is, I know you guys see Mertens as a really great player and all that, but also think about the manager right now. Lampard is not interested in playing all these old players.
Exactly.
He's interested in playing the young kids.
Yeah.
Exactly. So maybe that's why.
is not even coming in knowing that he's gonna have a space on the team.
Yeah, but
and if the manager is not keen, that kills it. That just kills it. The negotiation.
So maybe Lampard wasn't interested.
Yeah, but
maybe Lampard wasn't interested.
Yeah. So the thing is, if I don't know, so that's why we're saying that if Mertens was a 6-month loan deal, I would be all for it. But if Mertens won a 2.5 year deal,
yeah,
with high wages,
nobody wants to sign a 1-year deal and then pack up and then go back to Italy or whatever. He wants a long-term.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's the issue. If Mertens was like, okay, I'm going to sign a 6-month deal, I think
that would have been great. It would have been great for you guys to sign it.
So I don't think he wants to sign it because I'm all for the youth. I want them to play. I want them to develop. And I think the way that Liverpool is playing, this is a good time for us to develop our youth because there's no player we can sign that's going to help us win the league next year.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So that's so that's the thing. Daniel?
So for all you know, maybe now that you guys are off the transfer ban, Lampard has to start this for the summer signings, you know. Yeah. So probably he knows what he wants to do.
Yeah, but we have to get top 4 first before we can get the big players that we want because
I think by the way things are moving, you guys will make it. Because first of all, aside Liverpool, all the other teams are not really consistent at this point.
Yeah, no, so it's none of us.
What's the points difference between you and City?
It's City?
Yeah.
City. Oh, it's a lot.
It's a lot. There's a 5 point between us.
Yeah, it's us and Leicester, which is like 7 points or 8 points
now. Yeah.
But City is not a lot.
We are 8 points behind Leicester, and then we are 10 points behind City.
Yeah, that's really not a lot.
Well, that's not a lot. Yeah, 10 is actually not a lot. Yeah.
Ahead of.
It's not a lot. So I didn't think about it. Liverpool is up there. All the other teams are just fighting at this point.
Yeah.
Because so I think you guys will still make it.
City might go chasing for the Champions League. Probably would never get it. And then lose more EPL games.
Because now you know what is going to happen to that team? They're going to lose confidence. That's what's going to happen to City right now.
Yeah.
And when you start losing confidence like that, anything can happen. But
likely go trophyless this season.
Yeah, Derek. Let me tell you something about Derek. Nobody hates Guardiola and Man City more than Derek.
Oh, I don't hate them.
He always wants because he does not like the fact that they have first team players on every position.
But that is kind of cheating though.
Oh, give me a break. Daniel,
that's not good. And now you see what is happening to them now?
No, let's not digress.
I'm just saying, at this point, you guys, because you said probably you guys might not get your signings because if you don't make the Champions League. I'm saying it's very, very open. It's very open. And City might even lose that spot.
It is, but I don't think
Chelsea might be second. You never know.
They're really
not playing good.
No.
We've
been so inconsistent. Like during the season. I don't think. Look,
all the teams have been inconsistent though. All the teams have been inconsistent.
But Chelsea's is worse. Like it's like we go on a run, and then out of nowhere, like
you think Chelsea's is worse?
Go down.
Let's talk about United.
Daniel, let me ask you.
Wait. Guys, hold on. Daniel was saying, so he told me, hold on.
Don't let me talk about United.
Yaga.
Please.
Yaga.
All these teams, please.
Yaga, hold your thought right. Sorry about that. Daniel had it throwing some shades out there. Like, what was he saying?
No, I'm saying that you're saying Chelsea's worse.
United is way worse. Come on now.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, we've been fourth forever. Like, I feel like we've been fourth.
Chelsea has been fourth forever. Chelsea has been fourth forever.
So I don't think you guys are really inconsistent. I mean, you are, but really not. As compared to
Diane, what do you think? I mean, is the lack of signings, is that something that's like an issue?
Yeah. I know before the transfer window was going to be open. I knew Chelsea was really desperate to probably get someone in, but who? That's the problem. But I think it's also going to probably also affect because remember my prediction before we started this season, as in Chelsea it's going to slip. It can be. Because looking at the way Chelsea has actually been consistent, and remember, Tottenham is on the rise. So I know
They
you
just
guys
won today.
probably, I know. Hold on. I know you guys are against this, but in reality, Chelsea fans, you guys know that the team has actually been lost the consistency, and the reason why none of the people behind you probably haven't actually gained on you because they are even way worse than you are.
Exactly.
So you not signing any player will probably have an effect on Chelsea's position. But the whole question is, as you guys already analyzed, who are you guys going to go for? And it's January. It's actually going to be a difficult um, um, thing for you to probably do. So I think it will still affect Chelsea's season. My prediction still holds too. Chelsea really struggling for the top four, it still holds. It still holds. It's really going to affect Chelsea's season. But all the same, yeah, because there was no one for you probably to get, even though there was someone as a Mertens, as you guys already analyzed. I don't want to actually repeat it again. The Chelsea transfer policy and all that. I think all those things were actually analyzed before probably even the transfer window was even opened. And Chelsea, I know Chelsea actually had things in mind and all that, but going back to look at the policy and the players available, I think it was no way possible for Chelsea to probably make a signing this January window. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay. So I guess, well, some are optimistic, some are not. So I guess we'll see. But it's not the end of the world, honestly. I don't think it's the end of the world because these players coming back from injuries, it seems like they're new signings for us. And Loftus-Cheek is coming back and Pulisic should be coming back. So maybe that's the infusion they need to get back into the full fold. So I like the play. I like Loftus-Cheek, and I think his midfield play is different from everybody that we have where he's a ball carrier. So I guess that can help.